Friends of Jacqueline is a non-profit organization, and we help kids battling pediatric cancer and other children illnesses, and we pair them up with college sports teams. And the sports team act as a support system, so they act as older brothers or older sisters to the child, depending on being a girl or boy. We have over 800 kids adopted in the program, which is a very big milestone in my book, since we started this back in 2006, 2007. What they do is they give love, support, and friendship. That's what Friends of Jacqueline is about. We're about quality of life today, in the moment. Yes, research is important, but right now, it's important to live life as today. We don't know what the future holds for some of these kids. I had a 30% chance of living, but I'm here today. A lot of these kids are not going to be able to play on a sports team. So for them to be part of an athletic team is a great thing. A lot of these kids are isolated and lose their friends. When I was younger, I was 9 years old. I lost my friends in elementary school, sadly, because they wanted to go out and play and they didn't want to sit on the couch with a sick child, so it was hard. Sports have always been my safe zone. Before I was sick, I was a big athlete, loved it. I played with the boys growing up, you know, I was Tom girl, if you want to call it. So sports have been a big part of my life, and then to be diagnosed and not be able to play, it hurt. Before I was sick, I picked up the stick at a local gym. They were doing a clinic, and I was one out of like 2 other girls with like 30 boys, and I was, you know, picking up the sport, really loving it. And when the coach saw I didn't come back after a couple weeks, he called up my parents, and that's when my parents told him I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and he wanted to do something for me and my family. So he had a contact at Northwestern University. He ended up reaching out to his contact at Northwestern University, and a couple weeks later I get a care package from this awesome college sports team. You know, I'm 10 years old and I'm like, what is this sports team sending me? This is cool. In the care package, there was a media guide, t-shirt, ball, and a bunch of other goodies, but the key thing in that care package was the media guide. Each girl on Northwestern University took their time to write a note to me. I read all the notes, all 35 of them, and I'm like, Dad, I saw in the back of the media guide they were playing at Johns Hopkins. I'm like, Dad, can we go? Can we go? And he goes, well, you're not feeling too well. I don't know, maybe. And I kept begging him all week, but he took the drive, and I was like, is there any way I can meet the team while we're there? And he's like, I don't know. So I fall back asleep because, you know, long car ride, not feeling well. So he somehow arranges for me to meet the team. I wake up and we're pulling up. I'm like, this isn't the field. Get out of the car. We meet the assistant coach and talk to her a little bit. And then I go into their team dinner. And after they ate, I got to meet them all, and I got to tell them my story for the first time, which was really refreshing and amazing because I've never told anybody my story at the time. And I got to tell them that I just booked my Make-A-Wish, and it was really fun. There was not a dry eye in the room. After that, we kind of started a bond, a relationship. We exchanged phone numbers, and whenever I had a bad day or if I had treatment, I text them, or they text me, or they send YouTube videos, you know, to me when YouTube was just starting out. And it lifted my spirit. So whenever I had treatment, I was in my own little happy place because this team was texting me, calling me, and whatnot. So one day in the waiting room, I'm getting all these phone calls and text messages, and this little girl sitting next to me goes, who keeps calling and texting you? I turn to her, I say, those are my friend. Then she gets called in to see her doctor. I turn to my dad and I said, we need to get this girl a team. And that's when the light bulb went off, where that's how we started Friends of Jacqueline. So here at Arlington, which I'm very proud of being an alumni, we have a little boy named Angelo adopted. He's a little boy. His parents are alumni here. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And Angelo's had some ups and downs throughout his journey.
Angelo was diagnosed with a brain tumor when he was 15 months old. He had surgery at that point, started on chemo, and then 3 months later found out it returned. They couldn't remove it because of where it is, so they could only remove what they could. He started on a different kind of chemo, and he was on that for about another year. He was stable for about 3 years until 2 summers ago. He had to have radiation. Since then, it's been looking fine. He has a lot of issues because of everything that happened, where the tumor was, the surgeries, the radiation, even the chemo can affect your brain. So he's delayed in a lot of aspects, physically, emotionally, mentally. He's come a long way. He is in 2nd grade and he's 8. He didn't walk till he was 5, and we didn't know if he would, so now, and he's doing great. But we just do it by day, and otherwise he is generally very happy.
For Angelo to be adopted to Arlington High School is words can't describe, because I'm proud of my school to take on such a big thing and support my foundation. The teams are great whenever Angelo comes to practices or games. They really interact with him, and now being the coach here, it's a little weird because, one, I don't look like a coach, but it's great. It's definitely a different aspect now being a coach, seeing the side of a coach and seeing that relationship with the team, the players, and the adoptee.
Being coached under Coach Jacqueline, it was always so much fun. She made it fun that I always wanted to come to practice. We had a purpose every time we went out to practice or we had a game. It was always for her, for something. Everything we did for Angelo, we did for Jacqueline.
Playing under Jacqueline has been some of the best years of my life as a lacrosse player, especially having her as a role model, knowing what she's been through her past years and striving to just go through every day and represent it as the best way it can possibly be.
I've been playing for Coach Jacqueline for 2 years now, and she's one of the best coaches I've ever had. Knowing that she had the brain tumor and she's gone through so much, it's really heartwarming to know that I'm able to play for her, to know what she's gone through, and helps us reflect on that, knowing that she couldn't play for those years, and it's nice knowing that I could play for her.
I think everybody should know Jacqueline's story, just because you never know, it could happen until it's you. And Jacqueline talks about it all the time. She had a 33% chance of living, and she beat it, so anything's possible with the support of friends, community, everything. I think she had that, so that's one of the big reasons why she survived it.
Friends of Jacqueline is, I think, a great way for the kids in our Arlington community to come together. I think that, when we celebrate Friends of Jacqueline Day here, everybody gets involved. The kids love seeing Angelo. Even the teams that haven't adopted Angelo like you guys have, you can tell that they just love having him at their game. And, watching Angelo smile working with all our kids, it's just really cool to see. And I think that Jacqueline does amazing things, and I love that foundation. So
I first got involved my 8th grade year when I first got on the team, and we had to sell t-shirts, and then I learned about Angelo's story during that process and all of that. And then we had the FOJ game and the FOJ Carnival, so we've had a lot of fun with him ever since then. Before every game we say Angelo in our team huddle when we get on the field, so it's definitely a big motivator for our team to know that there's something bigger than just the game for us.
If everyone really knew what these kids go through, I can't say there's anything worse than what he has gone through. It was just hell what he went through, and he's just so happy, and there's just nothing better than that. Arlington, the lacrosse, everyone, they've been amazing. He is, like I said, so happy. He was so excited to come, so excited to play. This is what he loves to do, and it really, I know he is having a blast. Makes you really feel really, I can't even explain it. It's just, it feels really good.
It's important for the community to know about FOJ Day. That way we can all come together on one day to celebrate him being able to go to these games, to see us play for him and know what we're doing out there.
Just to see that you can make such a difference in somebody's life just by kindness or a gesture or something that you wouldn't expect would change and helps a family like, Angelo's parents. I think even to see how much support they have here, it's nice to have somebody to lean on, and I think it's really good for our kids, whatever team they're on, to see that they can make such a big difference just by doing something so simple.
For everyone to come out and raise awareness is the most important thing, and by everyone coming out to raise awareness, it helps all the kids that are in the country that are suffering through these things get friends for life, and a family and the love, and what Jacqueline's dad always says is that's more important than anything, for them to be happy and to have a whole team of community behind them, cheering them on. I couldn't be more thankful to everyone that would come out and support Friends of Jacqueline.
For Friends of Jacqueline to be at the high school and have that day come together, it's a great way to bring the community in for a lot of love, like I said, love, support, and friendship.